Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerdy Miniatures, and in today's video we are returning to my Sylvaneths as we paint the fearsome Warsong Revenant, and of course it is in my cherry blossom theme. If you want to see how I did that, then just keep on watching. Let's start by discussing who the Warsong Revenant is. Given life by the spirits held within the Oak of Ages past, the Warsong Revenants sprang forth as Alariel's rite of life rippled across Ghyran, and added their spirit song to her chorus. To their Sylvaneth allies, the music emanating from their flutes is a joyous tune, full of hope and uplifting vigour, but to their enemies, it blares a sonic assault of crippling potency. Though few, the Warsong Revenants are a powerful addition to the ranks of the Sylvaneth. The songs they play bolster the hearts of allies and demoralise enemies, while the Revenants themselves weave arcane forces with an ease that bellies their youth. While seemingly fragile and ethereal spirits, their magical power is their arboreal cloaks that help defend their soul seed from harm. Now moving on to the painting. I began by covering the entire figure in a solid brown colour. For this I used dried bark, and I covered the entire thing, making sure there was no grey peeking through. Next, I moved on to the dry brushing. For this, I went in with Rakarth Flesh, followed by a wash of the light green shade called Nurgling Green, which was really helped to bring out the highlights on the leaves. Now it was time to move on to the pink elements, so using Doomfire Magenta, I painted the eggs on the top of the figure to bring that element in, as well as the hair on the Revenant's head. The Revenant is standing on a massive skull, so I also decided to paint this base in Rakarth Flesh, doing 2 coats, going in with Skeleton Horde to show the skull had been part of the figure for a while. Now it was time to add the highlights, so for this I used Moot Green and filled in these little holes. Using the colour Emperor's Children, I then began to paint the thorns on the branches as well as the top of the flute, just to tie in more pink to the figure. Continuing with the flute, I then covered the rest of the instrument using that shade Rakarth Flesh as I did before. Now it was time to add the metallic elements to the figure, so using the shade Retributor Armor, I painted the cuffs on the figure, as well as the trophies on the Revenant's back piece and on the flue. For the weapon that she wears on her back, I started with a blaze of blue horror, which is a pale blue colour, building it up in layers until I was satisfied, before moving on to the ombre effect. For this I used a dry brush and the shade Lothern Blue, and applied this using a stippling motion for gradient levels of intensity on the blade. I then decided to apply the same blue to various other elements on the figure, just to incorporate it more, as I liked how this colour looked with the pink elements. Now it was time to move on to the base of the miniature, so using the shade Elysian Green, I painted all the leaves that stick out before moving on to the spirally plants. Using the shade Wild Rider Red, I then applied this to these spirals. Now it was time to paint the little creature that is protruding from the eggs on the top of the figure. For this, I painted it using the base coat of Volupus Pink, before adding Corax White to the eyes. Over top, I then went in with the technical paint Tesseract Glow, and I covered the eyes and nails of the figure to make them look a little bit more eerie. That was it for the figure. For the base, I painted it using Starland Mud, and off camera, I applied some cherry blossoms and pink flowers just to tie the entire figure together. But that is it, all finished. That brings us to the end of my Warsong Revenant, and this has got to be one of my favourite Sylvaneth figures to date. I really enjoyed adding this to my collection, and I look forward to seeing what it can do. Down in the description you will find 2 links. The first to Mr. Nerd's channel, so if you enjoy MMOs and action RPGs, then please feel free to have a look at that. And if you enjoy fantasy lore on topics like Tolkien and Warhammer, then please feel free to have a look at my channel, where I release 2 videos a week discussing just that. Anyway, that'd be it from me today. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are in the world. And as always, peace out, guys.